everybody. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. It has been a pretty active afternoon and evening or morning across much of the region, and starting to kind of hit the downhill slide, if you will, as most of our showers and storms are starting to exit the region. The severe weather threat is all but over for a handful, except for a handful of counties and parishes in the southern and eastern parts of our coverage area. Aside from that, again, it is much quieter compared to where we were several hours ago. Reminder, if the radar's been unkind to your roof, call or click Brown's Roofing today, brownsroofingla.com. And you can see the thunderstorm activity, and actually we'll zoom in and kind of get a little bit more interactive with the storms that are unfolding across the southern parishes and counties along the Mississippi Valley. Nothing overly organized or severe here, but these are the heaviest rain rates we're seeing across the region. And I guess the good news from this is these are the areas that didn't see the widespread heavy rain earlier in the day. So if there is a part of the region that can really take rainfall, it's the southern counties and parishes at this point. That said, they've seen quite a bit this afternoon and this evening, and a lot of that rain is starting to stack up quite a bit. As you pan northward across the southeastern sections of Arkansas and through the rest of the Mississippi Valley, it's a lot more just residual shower activity that continues through these areas, and most of that will continue to wrap up over the next hour or two. So generally speaking, again, the more active weather is going to be farther southward. Still can't rule out a rogue strong to severe storm, but if we haven't seen one yet, I would think that the odds are kind of against us seeing one at this point. Quick check of the flood alerts made possible by Allegiance Health Network. All of our flash flood warnings are set to expire at 4:45, so we got another 5 minutes or so. These are the last of what has been several flash flood warnings across the area through the course of the day, and the rain totals kind of reflect that. Again, a lot of these are radar estimated rain totals, but generally along and north of the I-20 corridor, much of the area has seen at least an inch of rain. As you move into southern Arkansas, those rain rates get quite extreme, especially along Highway 278 from Camden over toward Monticello, where portions of Calhoun and Bradley and Ouachita counties probably saw between 4 and 6, if not more, inches of rainfall. And then you stretch back to the southwest, and we saw something very similar across Columbia County and far western sections of Union County, and then even stretching toward the state line and in northern Claiborne Parish. That's where the heaviest rain set up through the course of the day. Obviously, we're still seeing some pretty hefty totals falling across the Mississippi Valley. St. Joseph at about 1.25 inches, Gina at about a little over 2 inches of rain. Again, a lot of these are radar estimated, but the rain's still falling in a lot of those spots, Natchez and St. Joseph, and for some of those folks along the Mississippi Valley, I wouldn't be surprised to add another inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches of rain atop what you've already seen. Winds are generally out of the south and southwest along and ahead of the boundary, which is working its way through the area. Wind gusts have not been extreme for most of our locations, but it won't take much with the soggy, saturated grounds to cause some issues. Again, that's not a problem, at least from what I've heard across the region, and I checked the power outage index as well. And most of the power outages did not seem very concentrated. It was mainly just some sporadic stuff here and there, so a little bit of good news there too. Temperatures are in the low to mid 70s. Some areas are near 80 degrees, but most of us were not successful in getting into the 80s today with the rain and the storms setting up and becoming quite widespread. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports I-20 Frontage Road Monroe shows most of the rain advancing off to the east tonight. And I will say that Futurecast is not overly aggressive in bringing a lot of rain in tomorrow. I think that scattered showers will be a possibility, at least across the region, through a good chunk of the day as we scour out the last little bit of low-level moisture. And I also expect daytime highs to perhaps be a degree or two cooler than what's indicated here. We will see some gradual clearing from northwest to southeast. And another thing that I'm looking at is morning lows well into the 60s Friday morning. I really don't expect a lot of cloud cover on Friday as sunshine starts to win back over across the region. Daytime highs back in the low to mid 80s for many spots by then. Quick check of the tropical satellite. Again, Gabrielle has become less and less and less of a weather headline, at least for the United States, as it's moving farther and farther away from us. However, it is still a North Atlantic weather headline. And then you can see the tropical waves that continue off to the south. And both of those areas shaded in red over the next 7 days. as they now both have a high chance of tropical development. So not only are we expecting one storm, but more than likely going to see two storms develop out over the western Atlantic. Bahamas, if you're vacationing the Bahamas and some of those surrounding areas, be aware of that. I just wanted to check the percentages. Actually, oh boy, 4 o'clock. I missed it. We were too busy being shellacked with rainfall. Actually, it's one red area and Tropical Storm Umberto. Tropical Storm Umberto has formed. I don't have time to tweak that graphic, but the red area to the right is now a tropical system. I will have that for you first thing tomorrow morning. But yeah, new tropical system moving off to the west-northwest. That advisory was just sent in. We'll move off to the west-northwest and head toward Bermuda. Again, no immediate impacts to the U.S. mainland, but too early to say that with a whole lot of definitive certainty. So again, Tropical Storm Umberto is now out over the open Atlantic. So Gabrielle and Umberto, I believe Imelda is the next name up after that. That would go to the next named storm, which I would expect us to have probably in the next 48 hours. So a little bit of late-breaking weather news, although it doesn't really impact us that much. And then we'll bring more about Umberto and all the tropics as needed as we go through the next few days. Lows tonight, upper 60s to near 70. Last of the showers wrap up. Clouds continue. Boy, I'm glad I checked that tropical thing. Daytime highs tomorrow will top out in the mid-80s. The lingering showers possible, especially along and south of the I-20 corridor. We will hopefully see some slow clearing from northwest to southeast late. Look at the 7-day forecast powered by 3B Outdoor Equipment. And again, it shows the last of the rainfall moving out tomorrow. Beyond that, daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s, morning lows, upper 50s to low 60s, which will be a nice little treat for much of the area. But we will warm back up. Back to near 90 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Morning lows in the low to mid-60s. A reminder, the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank is a digital weather platform serving 33 parishes and counties across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. It is made possible 100% free to you by the local businesses that you see there on your screen. You do your part by doing just what you're doing now. Follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Like and comment and share the content, especially when that's needed, and support our business partners if you can, when you can. Again, days like today, we have a lot of our local businesses that support the Digital Weather Desk that can provide services for storm damage and things like that. If you have a trusted name that you already use, great. If you don't, and you don't really know where to turn, give some of our local business partners a call, and they'd be happy to help you out and support the folks that support us. Again, if needed. All right, that wraps us up for this Wednesday. Unless something crazy happens with the storms off to the south, info from me will probably start to trickle out a little bit more slowly as we go through the rest of the evening. I'll join you first thing tomorrow morning. We'll look at Umberto, Imelda, if it's out there at that point, which is a possibility. And we'll take a look at some cooler, drier air that's punching in for the rest of the week and into the upcoming weekend. So, again, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to take a look at the forecast. Thanks for staying up to date with the forecast. It makes it a lot easier for a meteorologist relaying the information when folks are staying up to date and they're not really caught by surprise. I don't think anybody was really shocked by what we saw today, although I will say that the rain totals truly kind of outperformed what we were expecting as we went through the day. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm glad you're here, and we will see you